Hi. So today I'm going to be answering some of the questions that you have asked me on the comment section. Some people also have reached out to me on email. I'll also try to respond to these questions on this video. I thought of making a video so that it will be of use to many people if I make a video on this question instead of just responding to the emails or the comments. Although I have done that in many of these questions, but good to make a video on that. It probably will help others as well. So the first question is, can someone from finance background work as a quant analyst? Yes, of course, you can work as a quant analyst even though you are not from a maths, engineering or science background. You have a proper finance background. Let's say you have done BCom and then you have done MBA in finance. You can certainly work as a quant analyst. In fact, one of the finest quant I worked with, he has a background in commerce. He's from Chennai in India, and that guy was very good actually. I used to work with him a decade back, and he was quite good actually. He comes from commerce background, and yet he was very good in mathematical modeling and programming as well. Now there may be some challenges you will face. For instance, if you do not have strong maths background, as in you do not understand mathematical equations, then you probably will struggle a bit. But I highly recommend you to do some math courses. You need not get a math degree, but just read some books, some books on calculus, algebra. Do some statistics courses. I think that should be enough to give you a good head start, and then your skills only in math modeling or quantitative finance related modeling will matter more rather than other mathematical topics. There are many mathematical topics which are of no use in quantitative finance. In fact, only about 5 to 10% of the mathematical topics that you would have studied in science or engineering will be of some use in quant finance, and not all of that. For instance, if you have learned real analysis, that would be of very little use in quantitative finance. If electrodynamics very well, you have a physics background and you have studied electromagnetism, or quantum mechanics, solid state physics, mathematical physics, all these topics probably won't be of much use, except maybe a few things. For instance, learning how to solve a differential equation. But that you can learn easily, right, without doing those complicated mathematical subjects, right? So the answer to this question is yes, you can do, but you still have to learn some mathematical modeling, and then you certainly can work as a quant analyst. The second question is that I'm from a non-tech background. Will I be able to cope up with quantitative finance? This question is related to the first question you have asked me, which is about coming from a finance background. Can I work in quant? I don't understand what you mean by non-tech background. In India, people often confuse non-tech with engineering. As in, if you have done engineering, then you are from tech background. If you haven't done engineering, you are from non-tech background. That's actually not true, because someone who has studied any scientific subject doesn't have to be just engineering, but any scientific subject, then he's from tech background, right? If you have studied geology or zoology or maths or physics or chemistry or any branch of engineering, medical science, pharmacy, you name it, then he's got some tech background. That means he has studied scientific subjects. Now, if you're saying that you have never studied any scientific subjects, then I consider you coming from a non-tech background. But if you have studied, let's say, some scientific subjects, you understand how to do some scientific analysis, then you certainly do not have a non-tech background, right? Just don't consider engineering as the only technical subject that that is there in the world. That's the perception in India, but that's not true. So imagine you have a background of liberal arts. You have studied history or geography, and for whatever reason you are now interested in finance, I highly recommend you to explore opportunities in non-quantitative finance field. Right, you can work in many other areas. For example, you can work in KYC related activities. You can work as a branch manager in finance and banking. You can work in many other fields. You could also potentially do an MBA in finance and work in merger acquisition, investment banking, retail banking. In India, you can also work in public sector banks without having any finance qualification. But if you are still very interested to work in quant finance, you can certainly work actually, but you really have to then do some courses. You really have to do a 1 year or 2 year program to learn some mathematics, programming, and so on, so forth. Uh, Without having any understanding of mathematics or programming, you won't be able to work in quant finance. And if you're coming from a completely non-technical background, you will be struggling with the maths and the programming, obviously. So I recommend you to do some courses. You can enroll yourself, for instance, a distance degree in mathematics from IGNO or any of these universities in India or elsewhere. Get a degree, learn things on your own, read some books, get a mentor. I think then you can certainly work in quant finance. But you should also explore other career opportunities in finance. It's not just quantitative finance that's the most lucrative one. There are other career options also equally lucrative in the field of finance, and you should also explore. And maybe some of your skills, if you are very good, you have very good social skills, you may be a good investment banker. And I think many investment bankers make a lot more money than the quants. So right, so evaluate your skills. That's important. The next question is, can a college dropout work in quant finance? Very interesting question. In fact, couple of them have asked me this question, that we have dropped out of college. Will you be able to work in quant finance? I don't know as to why you have dropped out of college. Some people do have to drop out of college for compulsion, for reasons not in their control. But if it is in your control, then I do not recommend anyone to drop out of college, because you have spent so many years to finish your schooling. So why be impatient dropping out of college? Get your degree. You need not do a master's or PhD, but at least get a bachelor degree. If you can finish a bachelor degree, that's the best thing. I think most finance job will require you to have a bachelor degree. Without a bachelor degree, I don't think you can find a job in the financial service industry. So let me be very honest. I've never worked with anyone who is a college dropout in the field of finance. You can find some opportunities in the tech world. You can work for some of the startups, tech startups, even without having a degree, a bachelor degree. But that's not the thing in the field of finance. You certainly need an university degree for that. Um, right. If it's not too late, I think you can do. You can enroll yourself for a distance learning for any of these courses you want to do, whether it's computer science or maths or anything, which do not require you to be present in the university to do practicals or laboratory work. Things like computer science or math, these subjects, or even commerce or economics, these subjects can be done part-time or in distance learning mode. So enroll yourself. Without a college degree, you won't be able to work in the field of finance. Next question is, where to find quant jobs? I have mentioned many times, but okay, let me repeat that LinkedIn is the best platform to find any job, and certainly quant jobs. But there is also something called e-financial career. You can find many quant jobs there. Unfortunately, e-finance career doesn't have the listing of opportunities in India. Most of these opportunities are either in Europe or US, UK, some Middle East, but rarely I see opportunities from India being listed there. But LinkedIn is one good source. I'm also thinking of making a site where I can post all the opportunities and just I'm not sure if I'll do, but if I have time, maybe I'll try to make a site where we can collate all the quant jobs available in India and put that all in on a website, because it's a bit scattered now, so that's a bit of a problem. Yeah, there's no specialized quant job site in India as far as I know, but we could make. If any of you are good web developer, let me know. I will be happy to collaborate on this. And if you can make a good site on that, why not? Let's make a good quant job site. Why not? It's going to serve the community. Where can I find internship? Good question. Just reach out to people directly. Ask for an internship. In India, unlike in many other countries, you will not find internship opportunities, especially in big organizations, being advertised in job sites. Rarely you will find. So for internship, you really have to reach out to people, ask them for it. Okay. Uh, where do you find people on LinkedIn, right, or on any other social media like Twitter? But LinkedIn is by far the best. Yeah. The next question is about the career progression in risk modeling. A very good question again. Uh, the many ways in you can make a good career, long-term career in risk modeling. One way is okay to grow within the organization, within the banking and financial organization that you're working with. Start as an analyst, become a senior analyst, and then become a lead analyst, a project manager, a product manager. That sort of role you could take, or you could also become the head of the department, right? So that's one way. And then you could also aspire to become the chief risk officer of, or chief modeling officer, chief analytics officer of the company that you are working in. Many people have been through this journey. I have seen some of my colleagues actually who are working as head of the modeling departments. Many of them have become director of modeling and have gone to become even CRO or chief analytics officer in many of these other companies. A lot of people have moved from risk modeling to fintech. Actually, fintech is a new sort of industry, and they hire people with experience with the more traditional banks. So if you have a lot of experience with traditional banks, you can move to fintech and take senior positions there, like chief product officer, chief risk officer, chief compliance officer, and so on. So amazing opportunities there. The other route is just move to consulting. There are plenty of opportunities in consulting. You could after having long experience in banking, you could move to consulting, work there as a senior manager, probably a director, and then you could also become a partner at some point if you do well there. The third route is to join these boutique consulting firms, the smaller consulting firms that are trying to make it big. Many people have done that and been very successful. For instance, when Fractal was starting in India, and Mu Sigma and Latent View Analytics, these small organizations were starting. I'm talking about 15 years back. A lot of the people moved from big firms, like big companies like Cities and Amex in India, were working in senior quantitative roles, and they moved to these smaller organizations, and then many of them are like now in very senior position in these companies. Okay, so this is also another route. The third, perhaps the fourth, the route is to change your career a bit. Uh, you want to move to some non-quantitative role after a while. That's also a very good option. Many people go on to become a risk manager, directly working with the account managers, from front office people. Some people have gone on to become traders. Some people have gone on to become more business people, right, or sales people, right. That's also is happening quite a lot. You could also move from one type of modeling to other type of modeling roles. For instance, you have been a credit risk modeler for a long time, you want to explore market risk. That's also a good option to explore, right. Or you can move from a big bank to a smaller bank and take up senior roles there. That's also is a good choice. You could move from regulatory role to non-regulatory role, as in if you're working in banks under a lot of regulation, just move from regulatory modeling roles to companies where regulations is less stringent. For instance, working for NBFC, working for some of the private funds, and working as a risk manager there. I know some people have moved from banking modeling role to risk manager role in pension funds, in private equity, even in trading firms, right? That can also be explored. So there are many options to explore. These are some of the questions I wanted to discuss. If further questions, don't hesitate to ask me in the comment section. As always, thank you for watching, and see you in another video, guys.